Good afternoon, sir.
So,
Good afternoon.
we start or we have to wait for a while. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Please,
sir.
please, can we wait for like 3 minutes? I'm reminding them that the class has begun.
All right, that's fine. Okay, let's start. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so today we're looking at content marketing and also storytelling. Can somebody tell me what content marketing is? Are you go there?
Yes, sir, we are here.
I asked a question, but everybody.
Okay, so for content marketing is creating and sharing information to attract audience with the goal of eventually making profit.
Okay. Is it always we have to make profits?
No, but there is a goal in making profit. That is the purpose.
So if a church is doing content marketing, are they there to make profits?
No, but sometimes it can be non-profit,
At
but at
least,
the end of the
yeah,
winning soul for Christ is a
it's
profit.
also profit. Yes, I understand you. Paul. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So we're creating and sharing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a target audience. That is the goal here. We drive profits, profitable customer actions. Like you said, with NGOs, they also have their own selling invaluable information, or maybe if you are talking about things that are highly relevant, what do you think will happen? Certainly the people we need to by reaching out to people, even though you are selling your product or service. So you need an audience in order to be able to achieve that. So that is what content marketing is. It ought to be relevant and also ought to be consistent. Why are we saying consistency here? We're talking about consistency because when your message keep on changing, that means you are confusing your target. So what you stand for as a business is what you always need to drive. And therefore, if you stand for quality, the things that you talk about should be quality related and nothing else. So, like the concept of segmentation, targeting, and positioning, when it comes to positioning, you ought to be consistent because that is what you want the customer or the target audience to see you. That's what you want them to see you to be. So that is what it is. Please Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Sir, please, your voice is a bit far away.
I don't know. Can you hear me now, please?
Yes,
Is
please,
it
we
better?
can.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You are loud
Okay.
and clear.
All right. That is what you do. So in positioning, that can give like BMW market on performance. So when their positioning statement is their ultimate driving machine. All that they are trying to say is that when it comes to performance, their product or their vehicles are the best. Volvo will say they stand for safety. So whatever you want to communicate, you want to relate to what you stand for. If not, you are missing the point. And I said, I think I gave you an example where I said I heard some radio advert, they say American quality Chinese price. And I asked myself, we all know how Chinese products has been branded. So if you say American quality Chinese price, it sends confusing signals out there. So always you need to be consistent in what you stand for. And that is the concept we are talking about here. So why is content important? One, it helps build the brand awareness, educate the audiences, and also increase engagement. Who can explain what an engagement is for the class, please? Customer engagement, not marriage engagement kind of thing, but customer engagement. What does it mean?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Paul, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I think it's having interaction with customers, maybe sending information and getting feedback from customers.
Exactly so. Exactly so. So it is always important that you engage, because in this modern era, if you are not engaging your audience, then you are not getting what is needed. So you always need to understand that. And also, it helps improve what we call search engine optimization and generate leads and sales. So if the content is valuable, people will always try to engage. But if it's not valuable, nobody wants to waste his time, especially where the person is also paying in terms of like using data. If you are sending irrelevant information to them, nobody wants to use his or her data on that. So that is the concept, and it is very, very critical that you understand it from that perspective. What is search engine optimization? I think you've done that course before, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what is search engine optimization? Oh, should I call Dr. Freeman now? Hello.
Yeah, so it talks about
Hello, sir.
improving.
We are here.
It talks
Lord,
about
you go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. It talks about improving website visibility of Google search. Website visibility of Google search.
Okay, so yes, you want to get the visibility as needed, and therefore you need to optimize. So you realize that during that program or the course, you saw that they say you have to use keywords, and that keywords is the one that pop up. The reason why it is very important is that normally when you are even researching, like using the normal internet domain, no AI, but you are using website. Normally when you query the website, people look at first, maybe the pop-ups, maybe first, second, third, fourth, the rest, you discard it. It could be that even the one at the very bottom of it could be the most valuable information that you get, but you don't trust it because it didn't appear at the top page. So always you need to optimize by looking at key search engines. In some cases, you have to even buy the keywords based on what you are doing. So it is of high relevance to everybody that content matters a lot. It matters a lot. And now you look at, we all know the space we find ourselves. It's not like the traditional media where it is more or less a one-way communication approach where people, like you advertise, you are not engaging enough. But if you want to engage, I told activity. So if you want people to respond to which information out there, if you want people to send in the valuable content, if the content if you do things that will let them engage. Okay. So what are the key characteristics of a good content? One, effective content should be valuable. Like we said, it ought to be relevant, because if highly irrelevant, nobody wants to get him or herself involved in that. And also it must be what? Informative. Share valuable information that will let people be willing to engage. Then also, the content should be in such a way that people can easily engage you. And you have to be consistent, as I said, and must be audience focused, not what you think you want to do, but rather what the audience wants is what you tell them. So there could be certain content that is dear to your heart, but remember, you are not communicating to yourself, you are communicating to the audience. So you have to profile them and see how you have to engage them. So content is key in digital marketing. What's it that you have there? There are some information that when people see, everybody comment on it. And there are some too, people will just drop it off because they think you are not doing enough. So with the content, it comes with like either blogs, videos, infographics, podcasts, social media posts, ebooks, and webinars. Blogs, as we all know, are like is a write-up that you provide. And the video too, we all know what video is. Here, the advice is that it is not on YouTube. You don't have to see a very lengthy video. Even YouTube, you have to minimize the length of the video, else it becomes boring and people are not interested in that. So you have to make sure that the videos are short and straight to the point. I've seen people on social media selling maybe recipes, but they will talk about the way the recipes can do, and they will be praising the recipe without even telling the recipe. It is at the tail end, and therefore sometimes it becomes a bit boring. What is infographics? They are key thematic areas that you present in the form of a pictorial form. And as we move on, you'll see what infographic is. I will show you one as we move on. Podcast is audio, that we place online. The social media posts, we all post messages on social media, so we know. And webinars are also more or less like an online kind of seminar where people talk about key things there. So blogs are written articles published online to inform or educate an audience. The benefit is that it improves search engine optimization, it builds authority, because if the information is valuable, you are authority on that, and therefore it helps people to listen to you because it is more authentic. Then also, it will help in increase web traffic. Traffic is the key. If people are not visiting your site, then you are losing it. So always you have to make sure that you are able to increase your website traffic by sharing a valuable content. So the posts that you post on your web pages should be something that consumers are willing. Let's say, example I can give is you have people, let's say you sell life and critical illness insurance. Then you go and market it to university undergraduate students. What if that they are your targets? They are not even going to be interested in that because per their age, they don't care about whatever will happen in the future. And therefore, most of them, if you take maybe about 100, it will be only maybe 2 or 3 people who will be interested in that. But when you are selling something that is related to them in terms of their venture, then you see them responding to you. Else, they will just look at it and just pass without even commenting on that. So we need to be careful in terms of that. Then the videos are also highly engaging and easy to consume, because now people like videos, short videos, the reels, for example, people like that. And also other, like especially like TikTok, you see they don't have lengthy video like what YouTube can give you. So it helps in tutorials, product demonstration, video can do that. Interviews, live streams, explainer videos, and also the platform like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram Reels are the ones that we use for the videos. And it is of critical importance to everybody. If the video is boring, people will drop it. The solution they are looking for. So always we need to bear in mind that such a situation can happen. So know where to place lengthy videos and where also not to, in terms of like the platforms that you use. So this is infographics. Infographics are visual representation of what information or data. So if you watch the screen, than whatever you want to say, infographics will actually summarize it and take the proof audience. At the analysis part, they have to also present an infographics of the key opinions from the people during the, maybe if it's a focus group discussion or maybe an interview. You just have to pick the key thematic areas and you present it in the form, a pictorial form for people to have. modern era, the modern consumer is technologically savvy, but also time poor. They don't have time. So you don't have to go and provide unnecessary tests. In terms of the write-up, is too heavy. When it's like that, people will just drop it off. So always make sure that you go straight to the point. Sometimes to them, they are not prepared to read up. That is why, if you look at it carefully, people send WhatsApp messages and people don't read, because sometimes the message is about, you have to scroll down, because you have a lot of text in there. When it's like that, people drop off because they are not interested in that, unless the person is doing nothing and just going on the, like going through information on the phone that you get them reading. But if they are busy, they don't have time to that effect. So always bear in mind that these are the things that will happen. So if you contract somebody to build your content for you, you have to be mindful that you have to insist that the message ought to be straightforward and it helps. I said, distributed online, support storytelling, and build audience loyalty. I have some podcasts that I subscribe to from other universities, and some of them have got valuable content. The ones that are don't having any valuable content, I'll just drop it off. So that is how the whole process really works. Do we understand it, please?
Yes, please, you understand, sir.
All right, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Then social media content formats are images, short videos, stories, polls, memes also is now part of us, where that are short videos that people use, then user-generated content. Remember, COBRES, consumer online brand-related activities. So user-generated, I told you that they have the 3 C's: consumption, creation, and contribution. These are things that if your content is valuable, you realize that based on the 3 audiences, each and every one will go for whatever they think is good for them. There are some people they will respond, there are some people they will just watch and go away, but you can see from the analytics how many people have actually watched the post that put there. All is the name of it to increase engagement and visibility on whatever information you want to communicate out there. So it is of critical importance. So now what strategies involve? We need to plan. Content to achieve. Don't just say, let's create content. You need to plan first. Planning is very, very critical in marketing communication, because the essence of marketing communication is to either remind, inform, or persuade. So always you have to make sure that you plan before you go out there. Else, remember that people also twist a lot of issues. So if you are not careful, whatever you have in there will be something that people will just twist it. And now, instead of you to continue with your content build-up, you are now trying to explain it yourself. And that is not the best. You have invited that to yourself. So make sure that you are as professional as possible and also straight to the point. So the goal is to deliver the right content to the right audience. Very, very important. right content to the right audience. If the content is for teachers and you send it through doctors, they are not going to do anything about it. You might think that you are communicating, but you will not get the response that is needed based on your communication objective. So first, you need to set up your objective. You have to analyze the situation. That's where the planning comes in. Analysis before even you set your objective. Then based on that, now you schedule as to when and where you have to send some of these messages to. That will let you achieve the results that is needed. If not, people will just be watching your video, but they will not respond to it. So always make sure that there must be a strategy involved that will help in achieving that. So in building a strategy, there are key things that you need to understand. First, you ask yourself a question: who is our target? You have to define your target audience before you start communicating. So know your audience. Like I said, during COVID, there are certain remote areas that education is not all that active. Instead of you to go and write, make sure you wash your hand because germs, other things, virus, whatever, they cannot read. So all that you do is that maybe you have maybe a poster with somebody washing their hands. And when people get there, straight away they can wash. But the situation where you've written it in the form of a test, they will not be all that interested in it. So you have to know your audience very well. Then what is your goal? Like I said, in communication, there must be communication objectives. And what are the key topics you want to communicate out there? Then which channels, because you need to plan the channels. You cannot just send it to any channel and you expect that you will get results. No, you need to plan. If it is more of a picture-based kind of approach, you can go for Instagram. Facebook have got both. TikTok has got videos. And YouTube have got lengthy videos as well. And you can run quite a lengthy content in there. But trust me, if the content is not valuable, nobody, and I repeat, nobody will be willing to waste his time on that. And there must be a metrics to measure. Performance measurement is very key because here, what I've realized is that, especially when it comes to the public sector, measurement is not their key issues, especially when it comes to what we call politicians. Oh, we've trained about 1,000 people for coding. Have you measured and see that those 1,000 people that you trained, what impact have you made in terms of they even going ahead to apply the things that they've learned? By politicians, they will talk about the numbers without looking at what the impact. We as marketers, we can't afford that. We need to be able to measure and see whether we are doing the right thing or people are actually engaging us or not. If people are not engaging us, it is what a critical challenge. So all the time, put that in mind. When they put you as a team, what's it that will resonate with the people? Then, which channels are we going to use? And how are we going to schedule the content? Because remember, it is not just one message. It is not just one message. It's quite a series of messages that you want to send it out there. So you need to always be mindful of that. Then, why audience is who said what? The what is the message? But the message is determined by the audience. What is their background? So if you don't profile them, you are just sending the message out there, but it will be highly relevant to them, and therefore they will not act the way you wanted them to act. So always you have to be mindful of that. Businesses should understand that demographics are very, very important. Interest is important. Needs are also important. And online behavior. Cobras will come in again. Consumer online brand related activities. What is it that they are doing? Are they sharing the videos or are they sharing the message? This will tell you whether the audience are responding to your call. So different content for teenagers and what professionals. There are certain things you have to send it to through LinkedIn instead of what putting it on TikTok, especially when you are dealing with professionals. They see LinkedIn as more authentic, and therefore people will not go there to just mess around, but rather they are going to bring a content that will spark a debate. And you see people just commenting on that. So it is important that you know the needs of the people. You have to know their behavior, because now, because of the algorithm, you can easily know what people are doing online, and therefore you know that when I send this message, I will get the response that is needed. So know how to deal with the contents, and always make sure that you know your audience, because if you don't know them, the definition I gave you, who said what to whom, through which channel. The recipient of the message will also determine the channel that you have to use. You cannot say, oh, let's do Facebook, let's do that. Know your audience. And when it's a product market, in product marketing, we know that certain categories of products are maybe geared towards women, but not men. Or it is geared towards men, but not women. So that is what you need to do. And now, when people sign on to various databases, you realize, you see the activities in there, and therefore you know what interests them and what don't interest them. So that is the way you have to look at it. Audience are very, very key in every communication, not just on social media alone, but even when it comes to the traditional media. There are certain content that are liked by some others. There are some too, they are not interested in that. So it is important that you know that the channel itself has everything to do with what your audience, and therefore know your audience. If you don't know your audience, you don't know. You are not going to achieve much. Then storytelling. Sometimes when you present the product itself, people might not all that be interested in. Even though they might be interested in the product, they might not be interested in it when it is presented in its raw form. So sometimes you need to tell a story about the product, and that is how you are able to get your audience. So always make sure that you use a narrative to communicate messages emotionally and effectively. In political marketing, it happens a lot. And also you have to be effective. You miss the point, because they say, oh, always whatever you say, it doesn't matter, because we are not seeing the benefit that we are going to get in staying with you. So always make sure that, depending on the nature of the product or service, depending on the nature of the service or the product, you can come out with a very nice story that will represent the product very well, and therefore becomes the selling point for other people to be able to understand. So stories create stronger audience connection. That is what it is. the story will create it will build a connection between them. In market, you say it will resonate with the people. One, if not, you are not. You want to, for the definition Paul gave us, you want to make profit. And if you want to make profit, that simply means that you need to get something that is resonating with the people, else they will not be interested in that. So what are the key benefits associated with that? Build emotions, increase audience engagement, and improve brand recall. When we say brand recall, can people remember? When we run advert, to at times pause and collect data and find out whether people even remember what we were marketing, what we were marketing. So always recall that the essence of communication 3, persuade, inform, and the last one is remind. So if there's a brand recall, that means people always remember what you said. That is why most adverts, when they run, they end up with what we call a tagline. The tagline is the short information that you put out there that will let people remember, recall. So like the then YouTubers say, a loan in less than 48 hours. When they said that, yes, you can talk a lot about the bank itself, but what people will remember, the take home is what? A loan in less than 48 hours. So these are the critical things that you have to know with regards to that. And that story will bring about brand sharing customers. Brand sharing customer success stories could be one of the stories that you can give out there. Mr. A and B did this, and that has been the outcome. We use that as reference selling all the time. But when you are using them ethically, you have to make sure that you seek their consent. Yeah, because if you don't seek their consent, you don't get you don't consent to it, and you just decide to use them, it becomes a problem, especially when it comes to healthcare related marketing. With healthcare marketing, doctor patient privacy is very, very important. So you have to seek people's consent. If a specialist is very sensitive, let them volunteer than just you going out there and just be telling them about, like using them as reference point whilst you have not seek their consent. It is highly unethical and you are not being professional enough. So after maybe enjoying the service and realize that the service was good, you can ask, oh, please, can you also tell your story for people to know how best we've been able to solve your problem for you? When they say yes, then you give them go ahead. And some too, probably you have to even give them some packages in order for them to do that for you. So know exactly what they want. Don't just misuse their privacy. That is how content, when it comes to storytelling, because you are going to use them, that's how you have to go around it. So creating effective content, what are the tips involved? You focus on audience needs. Like I said, if you send things that are highly relevant, they are not interested in you. So you have to know their needs first. And also you have to use clear language. You understand the jargons at your workplace, but they don't. So you don't go there and just be using your jargons to let people know that you know. It depends on the audience. There are certain audience, they are highly educated, and therefore you can use some of your terminologies, but make sure you calm down as low as possible, they make the language basic for them to understand. Because if you bring about complex messaging, they will not be able to understand. And therefore, you are just throwing money away. Then they say include calls to what? Action. A call to action is very, very important in the digital space. If you want people to buy the product, don't communicate about the product benefit without telling them to buy. There must be, maybe you say the first 200 people will get half price, or they will have special discount depending on what you are trying to sell. So call to actions are very, very important. Don't give all the product benefit or the service benefit without telling them what they have to do. What they have to do is that your objective is to maybe get them to buy the product or sign on to a package. So what do? You make sure that at the beginning or at the end, let them know what they have to do, where they can get the product and all those things. These are call to action, and you have to get that in mind. Else you are communicating, you are okay, you think you are giving them quite a lot of information, but you didn't tell them what they need to do. Maybe click on the link, it's a call to action. Or maybe buy now, it's a call to action. And you always have to what? Maintain consistency. If you send conflicting messages out there, people will not respond like the way you want them to do. So always make sure that you are able to let them know what you stand for. That's the element of consistency, because in communication, if you are not consistent, people will not see you as being authentic, and therefore they will leave you behind. So it is always important that you bear that in mind, and consistency is key. For example, if you stand for quality and you use some shabby video in there, the video that picture quality is bad and the voice is not clear, it makes people think that there's a deviation from what you stand for. You say you stand for quality, but what you are giving out there and the platform within which you are even presenting the message doesn't show anything about quality, because that is consumer touch point, like where the consumer interact with the brand. So the pictures ought to be sharper and straight to the point. And always, you don't deviate from what you stand for. If you deviate from what you stand for, people will not be interested in that, because they are confused and they don't know what they have to do. And in doing so, in integrated marketing communication, we blend platforms. So in doing so also, we have to schedule in terms of, we have to have a calendar as to when to introduce what. It is very, very important. Even a multi-product companies, when they are, or service, when they are even presenting their products to the market, they don't lump all the products together and straight away give to the customers. They have schedule as to when to reduce what. Example I can give you is, let's say MTN. What do we know about MTN? MTN has got a lot of products, but when they started, even though they have quite a lot of services in there, they decide to what? Schedule a calendar as to when they need to introduce a service. So you see, when they started from then Space Phone up to where they have now as MTN, what were they doing? First, they introduced voice, then they move on to talk about SMS, and later they came out with backup service. They came out with mobile money. Why are they doing that? They are gradually introducing one service, each service at a particular time frame. so that if people want to port, or based on this new product or this new service that they are offering, I will stay with the network. In strategic marketing, we call it mobile defense strategy. Mobile defense because you are using continuous innovation to always hold up to the customer. Because I always tell you that there's something we call customer lifetime value. When we get customers today, we don't want them to leave us soon. So we have to find a way to retain those customers and continue to engage with them. So the calendar will improve consistency and save time and also support planning because you know when to introduce what message. You miss the point. So the team will be there, oh, today, why don't we introduce this? The next day, why don't we introduce this? That simply means that you have not planned well. Means that you have not planned well, and therefore, you don't have a schedule. Sometimes maybe you say, okay, fine, before we launch our back it with a radio ad. Then we introduce the social media as well. So at every point in time, we know what we are doing and we know the schedule that we have to do. And in every situation, know which platform should be the main platform and which one should be the support platform. Because all the platform rates are not the same, and that aside too, people are more interested in things that will engage them. So make sure that at every point in time, some businesses, we have what we call brand reactivation. And brand reactivation it kickstarts seeing what you got to offer. So that is why they say, oh, the new pesto, they say the new rich choco. The same process in terms of your audience and the brand community. You have to ginger it by bringing in new things that will help in achieving that. So with the content, we don't send all the topics at the same time. No. We start with this, then we upgrade. That's what we do. So in some even TV ad, they make it in the form of a story. And what they do is that when they raise some element of curiosity as the story continues. So they talk, and therefore, because of the story, everybody want to like the ad to the end. So maybe the first 13 weeks, you run this story, then later you continue with the story. So people are following it. And that makes them more willing to stay than just one-off activity. So know the strategy that you have to get that. So your publication dates ought to be there, your content topics, the platform that you are going to use. And responsible team members is very, very key. Those who understand it, not people because of their faces. You just select them once you know that they cannot do a good job. It's not about who you like and who you don't like, who can do the job and do it well. So team members is very, very important. And also the campaign goals. What's it that we are we reminding them or we are creating awareness? Creating awareness is different from reminding people about the existence of the brand. Likewise, also, are we persuading them to buy or patronize our service? You need to always be aware of, and that will help in media, make sure that you are active. Not just you go and post one thing, then you go and sleep for the next 3 months before you come back and repost something else. It makes people decide not to follow you. So always, let's make sure that we are following the whole process, and therefore we schedule what we want to do. So it is a cycle. As we move on, we introduce new things, and that is what we do. So the content repurposing. It means reusing existing content in different format or platforms. Now, if you look, especially when you on TikTok, you realize that there are some things that people have said long time ago. Those issues are past and gone. But what do we see? They will refer you to that. So even though that's not the occasion, they will say, oh, but you said this, you said that. So they are trying to what? Do only politics that when one is in trouble, one is happy. So yeah, hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hello, sir.
my line went off. I'm back now. You can now see the screen, right?
Yes, please, we
Yes, sir.
can.
Okay, all right. So, like I said, people will use, they'll rehash whatever you have, and they tie you to that. So, like when we are talking about quality and later you are talking about cheaper price, they say, but first you were saying this, why are you saying that? They will bring it back to you. So the post is there. Sometimes if it were to be you will manage it, but remember that we have participants when it comes to social media. Most of them are not what observers. Up in bringing the message home. So always you have to be mindful of that and know that people will hold you to that, because social media, people are active there and they always want to refer you to something. So make sure that you get it right at that particular time. So advantages are that it saves time, reaches wider audience, and also increase content lifespan. So it was maybe on Facebook, now we move it to TikTok, now we are moving it to maybe Instagram. That the lifespan will be going out there, especially where it is not organic post, but it is a post that you have to pay for. There must be return on the investment that you made, and always be mindful of what we. And therefore the purpose investment. So if you make such an investment, then the implication is that there must be return on that investment because you are not Santa Claus. So we understand that, please.
Yes, please, we do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In terms of content, and like I said, when it comes to these tools, they keep on coming back because day in and day out, people are developing different formats. They are coming out, developing new formats. Now we have things that can help you in dealing with your content. And like I said, when you get something that will help you to build the content, make sure that you use it wisely and also to make you more profitable. Don't just use them for relevant of that will help you and use it very, very well. Because you want to communicate, and communication is the key in marketing. Marketers always communicate. If you're a marketer and you say you don't like communicating, then you are not a marketer. Probably you should have rather be an accountant or something. But in marketing, it's about trying to get your audience attention. And get them attention, you go for the best tools that will help you. So, like the same thing, content management platform are also there. WordPress, for example, is well known for that. Google Workspace can also have that. Likewise, HotSuite. These are, as a matter of fact, Google Workspace, WordPress, and HotSuite are content management platforms that are well known in our space, and you can use them. Also, what you need to understand is that pick the ones that you think can help you reach your audience. You are not just picking them for the fun of it. You want to make a point, and making a point, you simply means that you need to get the one that people are more willing to engage with. So it will help you plan, organize, and publish content efficiently. That is what those softwares will help in achieving. So how do we know that we are achieving what is needed? Our website traffic can tell whether people are listening to whatever they are consuming whatever we are sending out there. How often do people engage us? That's engagement rate will tell whether we are doing great job or not. Because especially when there's a call to action and we don't see anything happening, it becomes a challenge. So all the time, we need to make sure that we are able to achieve the necessary things that are needed. And we also have to know conversion rate, like how many people even call to inquire about our product or service. How many people share and comment on our posts. And also how many times that they spend on our content. All these are very, very critical issues that we can use to measure. We call it KPIs, key performance indicators. Are they sharing? Are they communicating? We are all over the place. Our social media handles are very active. Active in what you posting, or active in consumers also, or your audience, also acting on the call to action. It's very, very, very critical. So in a nutshell, what we say is that content marketing builds engagement and trust, because they can reach you, they can discuss and storytelling will improve organization and what consistency. Then content creation and management tools enhance the efficiency that we have. So don't say you are just creating it. You look for the right content management tools so that it will help you to manage your content very, very well. So the discussion question we have is, which type of content is most effective today, and why is storytelling now important in marketing? Important in marketing. Who can tell us? No.
So please, the question again. We didn't hear you.
I say, why do we say that content marketing is important, storytelling is important in marketing? Can you hear me now, please?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, so why do you think storytelling is important in marketing? Who can help us?
Yes, sir.
So it helps to build trust and credibility.
Mm. And it also explains product easily. Hello.
Yeah, we
Hello,
can
sir.
hear you.
Okay.
I'm asking a question. I need an answer.
And so I said it explains product easily.
Okay.
It
Mm.
also inspires customers.
You inspire customers. Okay.
And sir, it also helps to build trust and credibility.
So yes, that's it. And sometimes also bring about emotional connection to the brand, which is of critical importance to everybody. Content. I have some recommended reading for you. So Hello, Ken. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm asking whether you people have received the slides.
So yes,
Yes, please.
I sent it to them.
Yeah, but you still have it on the LMS, so those who have
Okay,
not
then.
gotten it, they can
Okay.
just get that in place. All right. How many meetings left?
So please, meetings as in the number of weeks we have left.
As rep.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, how many meetings left?
So I mean, I didn't. Please, do you mean the number of weeks we have left?
Yeah.
So please, I'm coming, sir. Class will end. So please, the class will end 21st of June.
21st of June.
Yes, please.
That is how many weeks from now? Today is 23rd.
So we have like a month, 4 weeks now.
month.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. I wanted to tackle another topic, but I think we can still meet based on the outline. We can still be able to achieve that. Okay, so any question, please? Hello.
No, please.
Okay, so our next topic will be social media marketing, which you've already even done that before. So we'll work on it. That is our next meeting, okay? But the next meeting probably will do 2 topics so that to give you time. I will send you'll get your assignment this week. All
Okay,
right.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
So we will end the class here for today. Next weekend. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Please come to us.
So I want you to read on the social media, the one I just projected, you have the slide, so read about
Okay,
it
sir.
because next class will be a conversational class. All
All
right?
right,
Okay,
sir.
all right, sir. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Take care and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Thank you. All
Bye.
right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Right. Bye, sir.